Hello traders and welcome to the real-time supply and demand video. In this video we're going to talk about the benefits and the application of using the real-time supply and demand and trading the ES. Let's go ahead and get into the market vitals first. The market name is the E-mini S&P 500. The ticker symbol is ES. The roll cycle is quarterly, but if you'd like some more information on the roll cycle, then please click on the link located on this page. The tick value is $12.50 per tick. The point value is $50 per point. The cash open is at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and the cash close is at 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time. The night session, which is also tradable, is from 6 p.m. to 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. The important recurring events that can affect this market are the non-farm payrolls, ISM manufacturing and non-manufacturing PMI, PPI, CPI, and core CPI, retail and core retail sales, core durable goods orders, consumer confidence, preliminary or final GDP, or world events. As a reminder, trading does carry significant risk, and all information in this video is provided for educational purposes only and is not an offer or recommendation to trade future stocks, options, or Forex. So let's go and discuss the key features of the real-time supply and demand tool. First of all, it marks zones or areas of extreme supply or demand and has the ability to be customized to any chart type, any time frame, or any market, including futures, ETFs, stocks, and Forex. So here we have the ES on a chart, and you can just see the real-time supply and demand tool loaded here. And these red zones here are going to be the supply zones. And you can see a light red one here. This is also a supply zone. All of these down here are supply zones as well. Down here on the bottom is going to be your demand zones. The dark green here indicates that this is indeed a demand zone, but just has not been retested by price yet. Whereas this light green zone here means that the demand zone was created here and price moved away from it and then moved right back down into it and got retested again, giving us this light green area and indicating a strong demand zone. Again, you can see the supply zone here was created here at the top. Price moved away and then came back up, revisited price here and here before moving off, indicating that this is another strong demand zone, and it changes the color slightly to a little lighter red to go ahead and indicate that here in the future. So how can this indicator help you with your trading? Very simply, the real-time supply and demand tool calculates imbalances from volume, blocks of volume, and order flow activity. Now, it's important to note here that it is not simply based on price action. It is taking volume and blocks of volume, order flow activity. It's taking all of that into account when it's doing its calculations. It helps you measure and visually identify a key point within the market. So here is what the real-time supply and demand, different uses that you can use it for. Here's the ES again on a 15-minute time frame. Again, you can put it on any time frame. But you can use it as a trade setups and trigger. What that means is that as soon as you see a supply zone created and it moves back out and it comes right back and retests it, this is a great area for a trade, are those retests of the supply zone. Same thing down here in the demand zone. You can see price had a nice move out, came right back, retested it, and it was a great trade signal to go ahead and take advantage of. And both of them yielded some great trades here. Use it as support and resistance. So again, you can see it as resistance here. And down here, you can see it as a little bit of support. These light green and light red areas can be great support and resistance here in the future. Risk to reward analysis. You can go ahead and take these zones. If you take it as a trade signal, go ahead and calculate. You can put this in the settings too, but you can calculate how much risk you're going to take based off the box. So you can see exactly right away visually, once you go ahead and let's say you go ahead and go long here, you know exactly where to go ahead and put your stop and how much ticks that you're going to have to risk. This is an indication right here on the box. I'll show you how to set that up here in the tool. Same thing for the supply zone. As soon as you go ahead and take this short, you know exactly where you need to go ahead and risk it to. Sediment. You can see right away that it is more of a bearish market. You can see all the supply zones. You have supply zones here, 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 and here. And this is indicating that it's a very bearish market here. You're seeing a little bit of bullishness coming back in with these green zones here, but very quickly, visually, you can see exactly what the sentiment here is in the market. Now let's go ahead and transition to the chart, and I'll show you how to set this up. You want to go start with a fresh and clean chart. You can use any time frame here. Start with a 15-minute. Go ahead and go into indicators. And go down to the NCAT tools here. And you want to go to the Real-time it'll be RSD, but that would be real-time supply and demand. Go ahead and load that in, and go ahead and hit OK. So there you go, loaded there right there on the chart pretty quickly. Up here on the button, you can go ahead and click on this and hide the zones, or you can go ahead and show the zones. This is indicating that the calculations are based on the current chart period of 15 minutes. Let's go and go back into indicators here. And again, you can see the tool loaded here. Extended zone minutes. So if you want these zones to go ahead and extend, let's see, let's go into the end here. If you want these zones to go ahead and extend further out, you can go ahead and do that here. And that's actually pretty helpful. You can go ahead and extend these out by, let's say, 240 minutes, and then make sure you go ahead and check the box to extend the zone. You can see it actually extends out here and gives you kind of a forward-looking idea of where price can go and potential trade setups to take advantage of. No weak zones. You can go ahead and take this off here. Go ahead and hit apply. And if there's any weak supply and demand zones, it'll actually show all the supply and demand zones here. But if you keep this checked, it'll take off the weak zones. Recolor, retouch means that every time the price gets into, if price moves away and then comes right back and retest it, it'll go ahead and change it to a lighter shade. Same thing down here. It goes, price is demand zone is created, moves away and comes back. It changes that. If you don't like that recolor, you can go ahead and make sure that is unchecked. The weak retouch, if you have the weak zones, you can go ahead and recolor those as well. Time frame type. Now this is kind of important here. If you want to go ahead and stay on a 15-minute, but the time frame type that you want the zones to be calculated on, let's say, is on a 60-minute, go ahead and put the time frame value that you want the zones to be calculated on, and make sure the time frame type is set to minute or whatever chart the frame that you like. Click apply. And now all the zones that you see here are actually 60-minute zones instead of 15 minutes. So this is very useful because you don't have to have two charts open at the same time. You can just have the one single chart and have the calculations being done on a 60-minute basis instead of a 15-minute basis. You'll notice here up at the top it says 60-minute now, and because that is what the zones are being calculated on. You can do that for any time period. If I go back to chart period, click apply, now it's going to be set to the chart period, the current chart period of 15 minutes. So now every time I change this chart period, if I go down to 5-minute, it'll be 5-minute zones. If I have this on a minute, let's say a 60-minute, no matter what time frame that I go on, whether it's 5-minute, 30-minute, 240, whatever it is, it's always going to be 60-minute zones. Very important distinction there. Input series and setup, you want to go ahead and leave the same. Visual, you don't want to touch anything there. Colors is just visual, so if you want to go ahead and change any of the colors of the demand retouch, it would be a light green here, the strong zones here, the weak zones would be olive. You can go ahead and do that here. You can change the text color here if you like as well. This is another important feature, the far edge price and the zone height. So especially if you're using this for risk reward, you'll certainly want to know the zone height. What that's going to tell you is how deep the zone is or how wide the zone is. This zone is wide by 16 ticks. This one is 15. This one is 6. This one's 14, 9, 15, and 14 down here. So it'll tell you exactly how wide these boxes are. Again, 15 ticks here. It also can give you the far edge price. So you can have the price at the top of the box and the price for the bottom of the box. You want to go ahead and just leave. We'll go ahead and just leave the zone height on. It just tells you exactly the zone height again. Now, if you want to email every time a supply zone or demand zone is created, go ahead and put your email address, the email address again here for the supply zone, and your email address again for the demand zone. And that will go ahead and send you an email as soon as one of these zones print. Make sure you go ahead and set all of these up here accordingly. Alert. Now, if you want an audible alert, go ahead and click on the box here and just pick whichever alert that you like. Once you're done, go ahead and hit OK, and you're all set up and ready to go. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful, and happy trading. If you want to learn more trade setups and strategies to trade the S&P 500, then go ahead and click the button below this video.